Hey everyone, and I hope you're having a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. I actually did this video yesterday, and I was going to post it, but apparently my computer lost it because it said had not found this file. So I have to do this entire video all over again. And sometimes I don't mind, but other times I was like, really? Anyway, but let's continue our Washington, D.C. tour. Washington, D.C. is a historical city that is filled with spirits, mystery, and intrigue. Also the capital of our great nation. There are many places in Washington, D.C. that are haunted by spirits from tragedies of years past. Also, almost every section of Washington, D.C. has haunted places. Many buildings date back to colonial times that lingering souls of those unhappy times remain to this day. We take a closer look at the iconic culture institution in the D.C. area, the Smithsonian Castle. The first Smithsonian building, the castle, was designed by architect James Renwick, Jr., one of America's first most successful architects. A dour-looking man trained by his strict father. He was also responsible for St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City and the Smithsonian's Renwick Gallery. Also in Washington, D.C., the building committee held a nationwide design competition in 1846 and selected Renwick's design by a unanimous vote. A cardboard model of Renwick's winning design is still on display in the castle. Renwick was assisted by Robert Mills, especially in the inside arrangement of the building, although the two frequently argued. Initially, the castle was intended to be built in white marble and then a yellow sandstone. The architect and the building committee finally agreed on using Synchrona red sandstone from the Synchrona quarry located in Montgomery County. The red stone was hewn by slaves at the Synchrona quarry. The anger of their unjust labor pouring into every block of the stone used in the castle. The Synchrona was much less expensive than them using granite or marble. It is also initially easy to work with and found to harden to a satisfactory degree upon exposure to the elements. And even if slaves were not involved in the actual construction of the Smithsonian Castle, the building started from a foundation of pain. The building committee went to sue Wilmer Cameron as the general contractor, and construction began in 1847. The east wing was completed by 1849 and occupied by the first century of the Smithsonian, noted academy and pioneer in the research of electromagnetism, Professor Sophus Henry and his family. This solid dreamer was an avid fan of science and progress. Leading experiments included one that led to the foundation of the National Weather Service. The west wing of the museum was completed late the same year. In 1850, a structural collapse of property completed work raised questions concerning the workmanship and its resulting in a change to modern fire-roof construction. The castle's exterior was completed in 1852. At this stage of the project, Renwick's work was completed, and he withdrew from the further participation. Cameron, however, continued the interior work, was seen completed in 1855. Despite the upgraded fireproof construction, a fire in 1865 resulted in a major damage to the upper floor of the building. It sadly destroyed the correspondence of James Smithson, namesake of the Smithsonian. 200 oil paintings of American Indians by John McStanley, the measurement room and the lecture hall was well as contents of the public libraries of Rupert SC and Alexandria, VA, which had been confiscated by Union forces during the Civil War. The renovation after the disaster was taken by a local Washington architect named Adolph Klutz from 1865 to 1867. Klutz went on to stamp his identity on many of the buildings in Washington, D.C. He was also allegedly met with Karl Marx and President Ulysses S. Grant. This prosperity for communism and his fondness for using red brick as the buildings gave him the nickname the Red Architect. Klutz saw 3 of his 7 children die before him, a tragedy that may have influenced the Gothic overtones of his buildings. While he rebuilt the Smithsonian Castle, additional fireproof work was done. Klutz was later to go design the neighborhood arts and industry buildings. A 3rd and 4th floor were also added to the east wing, and a 3rd floor was added to the west. Then the red novel electric light system was installed in 1895. Around 1900, a children's museum was installed near the south entrance. A wide silted tunnel was built connected to the arts and industry buildings. From 1968 to 1970, another renovation took place in order to install modern electrical systems, elevators and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. The ending a group garden was dedicated in 1987, along with Rhetoric Street facing Independence Avenue, built from more scenic redstone retrieved from the demolished Washington, D.C. jail. Being the focus of so much nation's history at the subject of so many human passion, there are several historical figures that are said to haunt the Smithsonian Castle. The first and most notable person of the namesake of the castle is the founder of the Institute, James Smithson. Smithson was an architect Englishman who was both chemist and mineralogist. Born in secret in Paris to avoid a family scandal, he was allegedly and denied the use of his family's name for many years. He never truly found his home and traveled constantly to find somewhere to belong. When James Smithson passed away, he left an entire fortune to the founding of the Smithsonian. And the incredible irony is that the Smithson had never visited the United States of America and would never see the building that would bear his name. After his death, his remains were brought to the United States in 1904 and entombed in one of the main rooms. His ghost is the one that appears most often in the castle. In fact, his ghost was spotted so often that in 1973, the sheriff curator and had Smithson's body deteriorated and the casket examined. The skeleton of James Smithson was intact. James Smithson is not the only scientist that haunts the building. In 1900, an article was published in the Washington Post. It detailed all the ghostly sightings at the castle. Many of the ghosts were believed to be scientists looking to protect their project, or seeing it in conclusion when untimely death prevented them from finishing their life's work. One ghost is to me by the first curator, Spencer Flewington Barron. The night watchman at the Smithsonian Castle reportedly saw the ghost of Bernie nightly. When he would approach, the ghost would vanish into thin air. Another spirit that haunts the castle is the Paleontologist Fletching Bee. Meet who lived there with his cat, an unhappy man with mournful eyes who lost his father when he was young. He was described as a queer character, using in its old meaning of odd or erotic. Scientists and cat live in a set of tiny rooms under the grand staircase. Mink was a member of the Mithrin Rome Club, named after the giant extinct sloth that once roamed South America. They were an iconic group of young scientists and naturalists searching for new understanding of the natural world at a time of existing discovery that has never been matched before or since. They help the building that collections and reputations of the Smithsonian with their rigorous gatherings and inclusive expeditions. Mink and his cat were moved to a smaller suite of the upstairs room after the fire. Soon after moving to the new rooms, Fletching descended into the poor health and passed away one night, with his cat by his side. He never lost his enthusiasm for conversation with the many scientists who passed through the Smithsonian. He continues to seek out conversation to this day, roaming the halls of the castle at night. One of the building's original residents, James Henry, the first secretary of the Smithsonian, has also been known to make a ghostly experience. Security guards have noticed James Henry wearing a frock coat, craven and starched white collar, wandering the halls of the castle at night. When he is approached, however, he vanishes. The Smithsonian is located due to South Forest Theater, near National Mall behind the National Museum of African Art and Sackler Gallery. It houses over 150 million artifacts across the domains of science, art, and history of the museum, and the National Zoo are visited by over 29 million people a year. No trip to Washington, D.C. is complete without a stop at the Smithsonian. Today, the Smithsonian Castle is used for administrative offices and a visitor center. However, there are dozens of other museums and buildings to visit in the nation's capital. Together, these places tell the story of American history, its ambitions, its triumphs, and its communities. Today, DC is home to many great arts and entertainment views, quirky shops and restaurants, and many universities. You can see more of this great history on your DC ghost tours, and of course, Washington DC will always play home of American politics. The clash of passion means spirits run high in Washington DC, and powerful people who congregate here lead faces stories and that leave behind remarkable tales. All over Washington DC are buildings and neighborhoods with their own fascinating histories, as well as stories of hauntings and people with unfinished businesses. In this world, most ghost tours in Washington DC, start out in Lafayette Square, which is also called Tragedy Square. These tours are a great way for you to learn about the magnificent and tragic lives and violent deaths that have left so many spirits in their wake. Now, I've been to Washington DC many times, and the fact that I probably live like maybe an hour from here, probably not even that. But I never been there to North Tour, sadly. I've been there to visit the museums. I've been to the Children's Hospital there, sadly. And I've been there during holidays. And yet, I am a Capitals fan. But I did go to the Smithsonian one time with my friend. Well, I didn't know it was haunted until she told me. She's not into the spirits, but that she believes it scares her. But she told me, is that a bruise on my arm? She told me because she knows I'm into it and it doesn't scare me as much as it used to. But anyway, thank you for watching my stories and videos. As always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I am Haunting Girl, and this is my channel. Until next time, pleasant dreams. And I'll spook you later.